So I'm just out here on a Sunday morning hike. I am in the middle of starting back up with civil contracting. I took last year off. I had some family issues where a brother was involved with a bad accident, so I kind of left my calendar open to be fit to move more freely and go back and forth to Ireland to see him and have no distractions while I was away. So I had to, close it down and sort of not chase any work while I was traveling. But I've just since January I've fully kicked back off again. It's been 5 or 6 years since the company that I had up in the Northern Territory folded on me, and I've been contracting since, but in a more under the radar, just not doing principal contracting, just falling underneath a higher tier contractor. So I think enough time had passed where I wanted to sort of just focus on my own well-being and build the body and mind stronger. After that failure, it was a pretty stressful time, and health and well-being suffered, so I just didn't want to jump right back into it. I wanted to, and plus another thing was I'd done a lot of self-reflection on what actually did go wrong, and there was more than one thing. There was multiple things that in your first real business venture, you're going to have to learn on the go. You're going to have a baptism of fire of the management and hire and fire and engineering contracts, managing people, procurement, all of that stuff is all new to you. So it's pretty much literally, there's places you can improve, or I can improve on every single one of those. But I wanted to go back to the drawing board and actually get very, skilled and competent in the actual activities that we deliver, from pipe laying to concrete construction to, I knew the machinery, earth moving, pavement side of it well, but it was the concrete works and the pipe laying and, water, sewer, drainage stuff that I used to have to hire subbies to do, which was, one of the big downfalls. So I took the last 5 years to just completely go back to grassroots from the ground up and just go back as a pipe layer and learn the craft that that moving forward, when them types of jobs come in, I know exactly that I can do it myself, worst case scenario, but more so I know how it's done and how it should be done, so that when I've got subbies again, that I can inspect it and make sure that it's done right. So that's what I've been doing, just running my own crew and other crews doing drainage, doing water, sewer, and concrete, form work, steel fixing and concrete placement. So after 6 years, that's the side of the business that I felt was weak. Well, something that one of the main things I needed to improve. The rest of it, is a work, like it's just standard business. I've been learning that also, but that was the main focus, was just the hands-on practical side of delivering it. So since January, I've been building the company, building the brand, making it more visual, reaching out to people, start tendering, quoting jobs, looking through government and council websites to see any jobs that suit. So that's what I've been doing for the last few months, which is slow burner. It takes at least 3 to 6 months to get in on good, decent jobs or win jobs for yourself. Just jumping on with a subby, or being a subby, jumping on with a tier 2 or tier 3 contractor it's a lot quicker to get up and running with, but the margins are less and it's a lot riskier. I've been doing that for the last 5 years and it's okay, but I've probably had about close to 300k of non-payment from contractors that I've worked for. They run a very, they're running a very lean, low margin operation. So anytime they can hold back some cash from a subby, or well, actually one of them went bust, and a couple of the rest of them two of the others were insolvent. So you're always waiting on the money, and any chance they could back charge something silly, they would. So that's like, it's okay, but it's literally like working a job, because that 300 grand would have been the cream. That would have been your profit, but you have no real control over it when you're this far down the chain. So this year, coming back to being the principal and going to take on my own jobs, either tier 1 or local government council type stuff. So a lot slower to get up and running, but worth it in the end. Like, this isn't my first time doing this. I done it kind of once before, and I remember at the time I had went completely burnt the boats, give up my job, bought machinery, had a job lined up. The job fell through, and then I was left sitting with no work, finance and overheads to pay for the equipment that I bought. And I didn't actually know how to get work. So that time I was like ringing everyone, asking around, quoting jobs. Heaps of jobs for people that all they were doing were price checking and getting you to do the legwork for them. And I sat at home for months on end, and I was like, fuck, I was doubting myself so much. I was like, shit, is this just the way it's going to be? I'm just not going to get work. Should I just, sell the machinery and go back to work again? And every day was a constant battle like that. It was that doubt of, will I actually get work or not? Because I'd never done it before. It wasn't guaranteed. I thought I was doing it wrong. That doubt nearly put me back to work several times. But I think it was the ego and thickness and, I didn't want to be seen to fail, which kept going and reaching out to people and quoting jobs. That eventually I got some stuff to do, and that was it. Got it knocked over, done it well, and then they just kept feeding me more. It was good. But this time around, I don't have that doubt. Well, I do, but not as much, because I've been down this road before. Like, I know that if I keep doing what I'm doing, it's a proven strategy. I've done it before a couple of times. I'll do it again. So I have a bit of solace in that, but it's still, the market is very, very quiet at the moment in Australia. So yeah, you have to have balls of steel. You literally have to be resilient, believe, unrelenting faith, and keep going day in, day out, week in, week out, where there's heaps of prospect, but there's no prospect at the same time, because nothing's guaranteed. So that's something for people, starting off. If that's your goal and you're going to do it, well, you better be resilient and be pretty stubborn and keep going, because it mightn't happen in the first month, the third month, the 6th month, 12 months. It could take a long time, and your money's dwindling. You're going further and further backwards. You might even have to substitute it by going back to work part-time again. And that's, really soul destroying. But just put the doubt to the back of your head and keep focused is what I do, and it's worked in the past, and it will work again.